Hello commanders and welcome to another video. In Art of Fights, we end up in scenarios where the opponent rushes us with a small army detachment, heroes, or an entire low-level HQ army. In this guide, we are going to break through how to successfully counter a rush. What is a rush? A rush is when a player attacks the other player without 10 minutes mark with an army or small detachments consisting of tier 1 and tier 2 units with a tier 1 hero, excluding higher ranks, where the rush consists of tier 3 units and tier 1 and tier 2 heroes. Key points to counter a rush. First key point, scout the enemy regularly. Be sure to send an assault or rifleman after collecting the small containers to scout the opponent's base. The base layout on its own gives a heads up if a rush is coming. If you are not sure, don't panic. Scout again after 30 seconds to 1 minute. Keep scouting until you know what he is doing. In addition to this, put riflemen or assaults on the middle of the map to have an eye on what's happening on the map. Second key point, study his base layout and determine if you got more containers. Rushers tend to place factories at the edge of the base, so units and heroes reach the middle of the map faster. Another aspect would be the small containers and big container. If you collected 80% of the small containers and collected the big container, the opponent tends to think that you are now confident on winning, so you focus on base development, forgetting that he's going to rush. Third key point, don't focus too hard on your base development. Focusing too much on your base without having a proper army to defend yourself at any moment will lead to a massive disadvantage if the opponent rushes you, as he will either outnumber your army by a big amount, or you successfully defend but lose a part of your base that will be hard to recover. How to counter a rush consisting of tier 2 infantry? Make tier 1 infantry. Don't believe me? Heavy assault and grenadiers have very bad damage against riflemen or assaults, infantry in particular, but there's fortresses or coyotes. Make an armadillo or hammer. Control your armadillos and or hammers in a separate group than your riflemen or assaults to keep them moving up and down or right and left to dodge rockets while manually targeting fortresses or coyotes. Don't know how to counter other strategies? Your best advisor would be the campaign. Play the campaign of both factions to know their downsides, so you can effectively counter them when playing the other faction. Higher ranks tend to complain about Cerberus or Wolverine and Seraphim or Salamander, not knowing how to effectively counter them. Let's break it out. Also, Wolverine and Salamander would lose in a 1v1 to Cerberus and Seraphim. It's risky to send a Seraphim into Salamander. Heroes can always fall back under cover of other units. Same applies in reverse. Don't send your Salamander in too deep. Against Wolverine, take advantage of its low durability, especially if there aren't other units around. It will try to stay at a long range, which makes Cerberus or hammers a perfect choice to close the distance and destroy it. Use 3 to 4 hammers plus Cerberus with active ability at the first large container to destroy the Wolverine or deal massive damage to it at least. Against Cerberus, stay mindful of its high damage versus tier 1 and tier 2 army. Tier 2 and tier 1 and tier 2 armor. He is also very effective against clumped units. To fight the Cerberus effectively, spread your units around. Keep Wolverine at range and focus fire on the enemy hero. If Cerberus is chasing you, kite him and let your other units kill him. Seraphim has a massive damage potential due to its deadly passive and crushing active ability. This allows it to sneak around your defenses and destroy important buildings. But remember the first key point? Always put infantry on the map to know where it's coming from. Having a Salamander out will help you kill it quick. But if you don't have a Salamander, going for 2 porcupine factories as soon as you scout the enemy X facility level 2 will solve it. Salamander is a beast that can hide in water and pop up to hit you with a rocket that deals massive damage. Have scouts around, such as a Seraphim, to know where it's coming from. If you have any hammers left after the large container fight, use them to block the way of the Salamander, along with Cerberus. Yes, Cerberus counters Salamander. If Salamander uses its active on the Cerberus, you can easily deal with it with Seraphim. Always destroy any army or any units that can hit low-flying targets, as your Seraphim will not be one-shot with the Salamander active alone. If you kill all porcupines and anything else, you can safely use Seraphim to attack Salamander. One more tip: if you see Salamander lock on the Seraphim with its active, switch to ground mode, and then instantly back to air so the Salamander does not fire any missile salvo after it's active on the Seraphim. This will decrease the damage from its active ability. Heroes Counters is a discussion on its own, which needs its own guide. So commanders, what rushes you don't know how to counter? Helicopters? Get anti-air. Anything else? Write in the comments and I will happily help with an answer. State your faction, rank, and what rush are you suffering from. Good luck on your fights, and see you soon.